Hey there, welcome. I'm Amrita from Atria Jewelry, and today we're going to discuss this chain and how to make it. I cheated a little bit. So this is a chainmail pattern, but what I did was to simplify it. I'm not using just all jump rings. I'm using some jump rings and some 8 links or infinity links. And so that's a little cheating as far as my husband's concerned, who used to do chainmail when he was younger. You typically use all jump rings for it. But I found that if I use those number 8 links or infinity links, it makes it a little sturdier and easier to get done. So let's see how I made this. Materials I'm using 16 gauge copper wire, and I'm going to be using that for the whole necklace and also make the closures with the same 16 gauge. And for tools, I'm using a flush cutter, a 6-step bail making or looping pliers, 2 pairs of bent nose or chain nose pliers, and a metal file. Now, we are making 2 types of links. We are making a jump ring, and I'll show you how I quickly make a bunch of them. I'm not using a saw today, but you could saw the jump rings for a quicker turnaround on those. And then we're making these infinity or 8 loops. So I'm going to call them 8 links or infinity links. It's the same thing. Now, traditionally, if I was to make this pattern, I would have a bunch of jump rings. So batch process them, make all of your jump rings at once. I would open one jump ring, get 2 closed ones on, and we have to close those out. And then close that. I'm going to close these ones too. And you can do this ahead of time. I like to do it once I've already linked them up. So if you look at this pattern, you'd have 2 of these jump rings and then 1 connecting them. And then I would use another jump ring to connect those same 2 pieces. So these 2 jump rings on either end. And so basically we would be connecting 4 jump rings at a time to make that pattern. So what I'm going to show you now is how to make those 8 loops and how to make the jump rings. I always flush cut my wire. I am working right off the spool. That way I have minimal wastage. And then I'm going to take this 4th step of the looping pliers and make 1 P-loop. So just going to connect that all the way around till it touches the wire. And then I'm going to bring this loop around the same step all the way around to cross itself into a number 8. And then flush cut with the flush end of my pliers of my cutters too. And then flush cut with my flush end of the cutters toward my finished piece, and that's 1 number 8. And so we're going to keep doing that. I'll show you this one more time. Again, make a full loop, bring my pliers around and loop the other way. So you form that number 8, and then take your flush cutters with the flush end toward the finished 8 and snip that off. And you will always find that it'll tend to be a little open and bent, but this is where you just get your pliers and straighten that out. And we do that with this one as well. And we have our 8s. Now for the jump rings, since we're using the same size, you can make a bunch of these. I'm going to use the same 4th step, but instead of touching that loop to each other, I'm making a spiral. See, I'm bringing that down below. So we continue to do that. And because I'm starting underneath, the wire keeps pushing up, I will continue to make a long spiral just like this. So just keep doing that. It's just the rotating wrist movement. And so I'm going to make a long spiral and then cut them off to make those individual jump rings. Now, traditionally, you would make the spiral, put this in a vise, and use a metal saw to cut that down. And then that way there is, in one cut, you'll get a bunch of those jump rings. But not all of us have saws, right? And so I want to show you what I do when I don't have my saw handy. Okay, I think that's it for now. And then I'm going to use my flush cutters towards the coil, snip that off. So now that end is flush cut. Get this baggie out of here. Okay. So this end is flush cut. I'm going to flip my cutters, and very close to that, I'm going to cut the next piece. And there, I have my jump ring. So we'll do that again. Keep flipping the pliers so that your flush side is towards the jump ring. And then before you start your next jump ring, snip off that jagged edge with your flush side and cut the next one. So literally that's all there is to this. So I'm going to keep cutting some jump rings and I'll be right back. And here we go, a bunch of number 8 infinity links and a bunch of jump rings. Now, if only it was that quick to get all of these cut and shaped, but that's the magic of videography, isn't it? Now, I got this started, but I'm going to show you how to get it started, and then we can attach it here. So all you will need is, once you have your closed infinity loop, you'll take a jump ring, open that up, pass it through both the loops of the number 8, and then you're going to add a second number 8. So I'm going to slide that on there. Again, you want to get it through both the loops of the infinity link, and then close the jump ring. So your very first jump ring will have these two 8 loops. And then you're going to separate that. And now to attach the next jump ring, you're going to open that up and pass that through the last infinity link, and then slide on a next infinity link. So you're going to keep doing that to connect to make the chain. So one more time, you're going to open a jump ring. There we go. You're going to pass that through one side of the infinity link, then through the next loop. And then you're going to add another infinity link so that the link goes through, the jump ring goes through both the loops. And then close that. Now I'm going to attach it to the longer chain, but assume that's how I started. I'm going to put it in there and then attach this. There we go. So all we do is keep going. Just make sure that every time you close a jump ring, that you make sure that it's completely closed, and just run your finger over it to make sure it's not catching, because this is going to be against the skin, so we want to make sure there's nothing scratchy. Now, for convenience, you can open all of your jump rings and keep them. There is a jump ring opener that you can wear as a ring if you're doing this a lot. I don't think I have that. I've considered getting it. I haven't. I end up using my thumbnail a lot. That's probably not the best idea, but you could just continue to use 2 pliers and open them up too. Open up all your jump rings, and then once you have them all open, it becomes easier and faster to link the pieces together. Okay. Now I'm going to have some music playing as I do the rest of this, and I will show you the completed necklace in the end. So we have about 9.5 inches done. And keep going. Okay, there we go. I now have 17 inches of this chain made, and we're going to finish it off. And to do that, I'm going to use the same 16 gauge, oops, I got another jump ring attached. I'm going to move that aside. I'm going to use the same 16 gauge copper wire and make a chain for the back, a set of links. So get the last jump ring without a number 8 infinity loop attached. So that will give us a flat spot to connect the next link to. So we have an extra jump ring on each side. And now I'm going to take the 16 gauge wire again, and we're going to make smaller infinity links. So again, flush cut that, and I'm going to use the second step instead of the fourth step to make these infinity loops. So we're going to go all the way around and then back this other way. And that's how the links are going to form. We're going to get these smaller infinity links. I'm going to do 2 of these on either end, and then we're going to do a couple of larger links to allow for the necklace length to be adjusted. Here we go. Just attach these links. Attach that. Here we go. And then we have that chain started on both ends. And on for one end, I'm going to put a hook on. I'm going to cut that off and we're going to make a quick hook. So again, the second step, make the loop. And then move to the fourth step and make a hook. I'm going to snip that off. Bend that up. And polish this off, so that'll be a hook. There you go. That's smooth, so I'm going to twist this open and attach it to this side. And on this side, I'm going to attach some larger links so that we can have an adjustable chain, like I said earlier. I'm going to do the same infinity, but we're going to do the third step. On second thoughts, I think I'm just going to do 5 of these larger links instead of the small links on that side, because I think it'll look odd to have those 2 sizes like that. That way, this makes it an adjustable necklace. The hook can go on anywhere. But to connect these links, I'm going to use smaller infinity loops using the first step. You could just use simple jump rings too. I think this will look cuter. Here we go. Cut that off. Link that on and link the next large one. And then we'll end with the last larger one. there we go. This will make the necklace adjustable. I can hook it on. You can hook it on. Wait, let's do this again. You can hook it on to the second one and have that dangle like that, or hook it on to the last one and have a longer chain in the back. I hope you enjoyed making this necklace with me. If you like this video, please like, share, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Have a beautiful day.